Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. As I had doing this work in truth and sincerity. Honor Brother Bach from Prophets in Babylon camp, coming at you with a quick sit down the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord, when this lesson edifying, I'm gonna name this lesson men working. These men are working, man. We out here working for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, man. This is Matthew chapter 9, verse 37. It says, "Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few." Right, man. It's a lot of work to be done, man. A lot of things that need to be spoken on. A lot of prophecies going out. It's a lot of things to go into, man. But it's only a small number of us doing this work of the Lord, man. It says, "Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that will send forth laborers into his harvest," man. The Lord is calling us to come into this thing, man. While we in this grace period, man. Brothers constantly preaching on, this grace period, man. The Lord having mercy upon us to come, to labor this harvest, man. This truth. I'm gonna go to the book of 2 Thessalonians. 2 chapter 3. It says, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. It says, "For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat," man. If you're not working, you're not eating, bro. If you're not putting out, you're not receiving, man. You gotta put in work, man. To receive that crown. And that's the fear of the Lord as well, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22. It says, it's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 29. It says, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men." Right, man. Diligent in his business, man. He constantly working on his business, man. It says he shall stand before kings, man. Kings, man. Not these damn, Edomites on earth, man. We gonna be kings, bro. Being diligent in this business, man. For Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, bro. Constantly putting in work, constantly doing videos, constantly praying, fasting, anything we can do to get closer to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is handling our business, man. So I'm gonna go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 2. So this is Luke chapter 2, verse 49. And it says, "And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business?" We must be about our Father's business, man. We must put this first and foremost in our lives, man. Not trying to take care of our kids, not trying to take care of the family. Not saying that you're not gonna do it, but this is the main thing, man. You gotta keep the main thing the main thing. This is the truth, man. We should be willing to lose everything to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. I'm gonna go to the book of John. This is John chapter 9. This is John chapter 9, verse 4. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. Right, man. While we still got breath in our lungs, man. You know, we must do the work of the Lord now, man. It ain't time to be waiting till later, man. You don't know if you have later, man. You know, scripture say, roughly paraphrasing, you know, you got to focus on today. Because tomorrow problems going to be tomorrow problems, man. You got to focus on today's problems, man. You know? It says the night cometh when no man can work, man. You know? And that's when shit going to start getting real, man. When you don't see the Lord's prophets on the highways and hedges anymore, or you can't get on the internet and watch a video, brothers' videos, man, shit gonna start getting real, bro. You know? So that's why we must work while we can work, man. You ain't gonna wanna be in this truth having second thoughts or what ifs. You know, what if I would have did this? What if I would have did that? Nah, man. You wanna leave it all on the line. You know? You wanna leave it all out there, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter 2. This is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye has always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Right, man? You know, we can't just be, you know, working, you know, when the camera's rolling. You know, we got to be working off the camera even more, man. You know, it says work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. You know, we know if we don't do this work of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, he can destroy us, man. You know, it says, for it is Yahweh which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure, man. This gospel, man, preaching this gospel, you know, that's the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, to preach this gospel, man. Fear the Lord, man. You know, and if you fear in the Lord, you gonna do this work, because you know the consequences of not doing it. You know. Let me grab 14 too, man. It says, do all things without murmurings and disputings, man. You know, it shouldn't be a burden to want to do the work of the Lord. It shouldn't be a burden to come to camp. You know, you should want to do these things, man. You know, because that comes with us getting the hell up out of this hell, man. That comes with us going home, man. I'm gonna grab this last scripture, man. That's pretty much the point. I'm gonna grab Luke chapter 14. This is Luke chapter 14, verse 23. It says, and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highway and the hedges, man. You know, you got brothers all over the world doing this, man. You know, we ready to go home, man. This Yahweh Shah speaking, man. Go out to the highways and hedges, man. It says, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. You know, we out here calling. You know, that's through the Lord, man. That's calling. That's reaching out His hand, man. And you niggas turning the other cheek, man. You know, but when the Lord turn the other cheek on your ass, you gonna be in a fucking bind. You know, we calling on men. You know, we not here calling on women. You know, this is men's work, man. You know, but yeah, man, that's pretty much the point on that, man. You know, Lord willing, you'll edify. You know, until next video. Shalom.